No one's expecting this to be a blowout outside of me.
I mean, they're playing the Jets of the world.
Booty blast, oh boy.
I think it's going to be very methodical.
It's going to be interesting in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Football X's and O's, our weekly tactics show giving you the inside analysis on the best NFL matchups every Monday. This will be a special edition of X's and O's as we'll look at the New England Patriots' best plays of the season and the road to Super Bowl 60. I'm Ryan Sue, alongside me is NFL expert David Scott. Like the Seahawks, the Patriots were not predicted to be a top team this season, and they have a now chance to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, came out of nowhere. Mike Vrabel really turned this team around. Drake Maye, of course, having an MVP-level campaign has really helped. They're in the Super Bowl. I'm excited to watch it.
All right, David, what topics do you have for us?
All right, we're going to start with a rocket arm. You know, Drake Maye, one of his great talents is his arm, and he's connected with a lot of his top receivers well with that. We're going to talk about a speed demon. Drake Maye's receiving core has a lot of speed. It's not a well-known core, but they get down the field pretty well. And then we're going to talk about Bullseye, Drake Maye's accuracy on his passing plays. We're going to talk about one play where he really got it in a tight window to get a touchdown. Talk about a sophomore sensation, of course, which is Drake Maye. He has been spectacular up there in the MVP conversation. And then, is the Dynasty revived? We'll see, maybe with a Super Bowl win.
All right, let's get to the plays of the year. Let's get to Week 6 game against the Saints. The Patriots are down 3-0 early in the first quarter. They have the football, 1st and 10 on their own 47, and Drake Maye completes a deep ball touchdown pass to Pop Douglas.
Yeah, Drake Maye has really displayed the deep ball with his receiving core. Outside of Stephon Diggs, if you had to list the Patriots receiving core from memory, I don't think I could do it. It's tough. But his playmakers outside of Diggs, what they do well is they get down the field. They're all fairly fast, and that has helped Maye have some clear out for Diggs in the passing game. So in this play, among others that we're going to look at, it's really just get it down the field. Like, how far can you throw it, Drake? And he can throw it pretty far. And now this play, which we're looking at, is like, it's really not complex at all. We're really just expecting the ball to go downfield, and that's what happens here. It's all on Drake Maye and Pop Douglas. Do you have the speed to beat your man? Drake Maye, do you have the deep ball strength and accuracy to get it down the field? The answer is yes to both of those things, and it works out for a touchdown.
Oh, and Drake Maye, you said it best. I feel like with Drake Maye, you know, it's probably 2-3 seconds and boom, he's throwing the football. And like you said, these guys have speed. There's a reason why, okay, they might not have a lot of receptions this season, but they average like 12 yards per reception, 13, 15.
Yeah, and getting the ball out quick is important for Drake Maye. That offensive line is not the best in the league. You could say it's closer to the worst in the league. So Maye really has to get the ball out quick decision making. How can I get the ball out and get, you know, safe from the pressure? And when you've got a deep ball like this and you have to make a quick decision, you really got to put some air under that ball, because if the pressure's coming down on you, it takes you a second and a half to decide that you want a deep ball. You got to get up with it. It can't be a laser beam down the field. Got to get up with it. So that's an important skill, because when you're throwing those moon balls, you got to have a lot of accuracy on them. It reminds me of the old days of Russell Wilson chucking those deep balls. I mean, the moon ball that Russell Wilson would throw was just special. And Drake Maye, he's got a similar kind of deep ball motion to that. So I really enjoy watching him throw those balls down the field. We're talking about a couple deep balls in this because he does them really well.
Oh, he does it really well. And Drake Maye, I just feel like the rhythm in his deep balls too. Like just the way he steps back and throws it. It's just rhythm full on display when it comes to Drake Maye. It's what we saw in college. That's why the Patriots drafted him with the 3 overall pick. And it's just rhythm at the end of the day for Maye in that pocket.
Yeah, he's very smooth. Like his throwing motion, his whole procedure, he's very smooth with it, very composed with it. He's just good all around throughout the whole process, from the snap to the throw. He does everything well. And then if he needs to, he can bail out of the pocket. Obviously, he doesn't need to do that here, but many instances we've seen him have to bail out of the pocket, and he does that exceptionally well, whether he's got to throw on the run or just take the ball up the field himself.
All right, Josh McDaniels loves to use the deep ball, so we're going to show it to you in that second play of the year. We'll take it to the Week 7 game versus the Titans. The Pats are down 13-10 with less than a minute left in the second quarter. They have the football, 1st and 10 on the opposing 39, and Maye hits a deep shot to Kayshon Boutte for the score.
Yeah, Kayshon Boutte, among the wide receivers in this core that are not named Stephon Diggs, I think Kayshon Boutte has been the big breakout. He's been very good this year. His contested catchability has been great. His hands have been on display. And again, the speed has been on display. It's going to be a similar thing here as to what we talked about just before, which is that Boutte has that speed to clear out the play, and Maye can get it down the field to him. Or Boutte can clear out the play with his speed and Maye could get it down to one of these guys who are coming across. Obviously, that's not what happens here, but just visualizing it for potential plays in the Super Bowl, if Boutte is blasting up the field, Boutte blast, oh boy. Boutte's blasting up the field and Stephon Diggs is coming across, then, you know, anything could happen. So it's going to be interesting in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
As I was saying, Boutte can get down the field, clear it out for a guy like Stephon Diggs to come across the middle for that check down, or we could see it go to a guy like Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. So the play can get cleared out a lot just from one deep option, because it's going to take the corner with him, it's going to take one of those safeties with them, depending on who's coming down, if the linebackers are going into the box, or if the safeties are coming down with it. Regardless, you're going to open up space in the middle, you can open up space on the right side of the field, you can open up space in the flat. It's going to do a lot of things. In this case, it's a deep ball, and we're going to see that again and again and again. A lot of deep balls with these guys, but their speed is important to clear out the play for anyone else.
Definitely. And Stephon Diggs, he's going to get the headlines. You know, he's obviously the leading receiver of this team. Boutte, I think, had only like 30-something receptions this season, but he averaged 16 yards per reception. So that's so vital in this offense. And Boutte, I think he could be a contributor in the Super Bowl. And hey, why not? Maybe he can get a touchdown at the same time. I think I'd be looking out for him in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, certainly. And when it comes to the Seahawks, we know their defense is so strong. But a big strength of their defense is that front line. The secondary is the spot where you can try to start doing some damage. It's still not, nothing to scoff at, but that's the area where Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel and the Patriots are going to really have to target. Can we get the passing game to be really efficient here? Because the run game is going to struggle. The Patriots' run game is not the strongest in the league. Travion Henderson in his rookie year has been all right. Ramondre Stevenson has been all right. They've both been fairly decent in the playoffs, but at the same time, it's not going to be easy against the Seahawks. If anything, they're going to be totally neutralized. So, Drake Maye, how can you get the ball deep downfield to Kayshon Boutte? How can Kayshon Boutte clear out the play so that a Stephon Diggs or a Hunter Henry can find himself open? We're going to find out, but this right here, that deep ball is going to be important.
And you said it, they could have gone to Hunter Henry. I mean, he has, I think, the third most receptions on the team, or second. So there's just options galore. Yeah, they don't have the big headlines. Stephon Diggs leads that group, but man, they have options, and they're not afraid. They're not afraid to go with the deep ball, and like you said, they're not afraid to go short, maybe dink and dunk, or the intermediate game as well.
Exactly, yeah. Even though it's not superstar names, they got plenty of talent to go around in this receiving core. Guys are going to get their play in the Super Bowl.
All right, to the last play of the year, and it's the Patriots' comeback win over the Ravens. New England's down 24-13 with a little over 9 minutes left in the fourth. They have the football, 1st and 10 on the opposing 37, and Maye throws a pinpoint pass downfield to Kyle Williams for the score.
Believe it or not, another deep ball here, but again, identifying other guys on the Patriots offense who are going to contribute. Kyle Williams, nice little draft pick for them out of Washington State this year. Hasn't been the most productive guy on their team, but still an option, and I think a good option for the future for them. I really liked him coming out of college. He's a good player, and this is kind of his strength, that burner speed down the field. We haven't seen him do much of anything else on the field yet, but can a guy like this make an impact in the Super Bowl? Yes. Stephon Diggs is obviously going to be the guy who's the most covered. They're going to be looking out for Stephon Diggs. Then it goes to Kayshon Boutte. Then it goes to Hunter Henry. If you throw in a Kyle Williams on the field, or if you spread it out 5 wide, no one's in the backfield, it comes down to your fourth corner or your safety or your linebackers on someone. Kyle Williams is going to find a way to get open. So is he important in this offense? Yeah, he's important. Is he getting the most run out of anyone? Obviously not. But as the seasons go on, if we're looking past the Super Bowl, I think he's going to step up further into an important role in this offense. Who knows if Boutte is a long-term option? Who knows if Stephon Diggs continues his resurgence? So Williams is important. If you see a good play out of him in the Super Bowl or a good run in the Super Bowl, that could easily vault him into better contention on the team. Again, he's not going to be the top option here, but is he going to break off a deep ball touchdown every once in a while? Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. And with this play, it was just over the shoulder, and he obviously has that burner speed, like you said. And for the Super Bowl, it's every year we see a guy that isn't that major contributor. He's a third or fourth receiver. We saw last year with the Eagles. I think Dotson had a touchdown behind, the Smiths of the world, A.J. Brown. So Kyle Williams with that burner speed, maybe he surprises the defense, and he can get a touchdown. You never know as well.
Yeah, you're right. Every year there's one player who no one identifies that's going to just come out of the woodwork and have a spectacular game to help lead their team to the Super Bowl. Jahan Dotson had an awesome game in that Super Bowl. And so you look at Williams, perhaps it's him. This play, showed off enough of his talents. He's got fast speed, and the catch that he made on this was nothing to scoff at. He was turning his body to make the catch while he was going down to the ground. Really good catch from him. So maybe he's the breakout guy in this Super Bowl. You can pick anyone on any team. It's hard to pick someone on the Seahawks because they've got so many, well-known names. You're like, all right, maybe it's going to be Kenneth Walker. Okay, that's boring. Kyle Williams, maybe this is our guy. Maybe this is the breakout star of the Super Bowl. We'll see. That would be a lot of fun. I don't want him to win the Super Bowl, but it would be cool to see him break out in some kind of way in such a big game.
Yeah, Mac Hollins too, we forget as well. So there's a lot of options, and it's a spread. They can spread the ball around with Josh McDaniels. I mean, this is only his 9th Super Bowl, Josh McDaniels, so he's been there, done that. And the Patriots, Drake Maye, I think we trust him to have a good game. But this is a Seahawks defense. That's not going to be easy.
Yeah, we trust him to have a good game, but let's be cautious about it. We've seen his play so far in the playoffs, and it has been not so great. Now, you're going up against the Chargers in that first game. They skirt by just because the Chargers played a terrible game. And then, all right, well, maybe we'll give them some credit for the Texans. The Texans are, maybe the number 2, number 3 defense in football, so he's facing a lot of pressure. That's tough. All right, we'll give him a pass on that one. Broncos. Another great defense, and there's some snow coming down. All right, maybe we'll give them a pass for that one. Now you're out of excuses. You're in the Super Bowl. If you have another 80-yard passing game, you're going to lose the Super Bowl. You got to really step up and show us why you're an MVP candidate. We can't give you any excuses for the Super Bowl. If you have a bad game, you have a bad game. No one's going to remember you, all right? You lost the Super Bowl. Go Sam Darnold. He's lifting that MVP trophy, all right? You got to get out there, 250 yards at least. You got to really get the passing offense going here. The passing offense has done nothing for the entirety of the playoffs. He's used his legs more than he's passed. So if he can get a rhythm, get the ball going, then I would expect some good things out of the Patriots. But if that 80-yard passing performance comes out again, it's not going to be good.
All right, let's get to that fourth topic. We did talk about Drake Maye and his playoff performances, maybe lack thereof, but in terms of the regular season, I mean, he was still number 2 in the league in terms of MVP probably. Probably Stafford will get that trophy, but it's probably Drake Maye, number 2, that would probably get it. But Drake Maye during the season, I feel like the Patriots had a slow start to the year. Their offense, I feel like they turned it on like in the second half of games, and the second half of the season did really well. Yes, it wasn't in great competition, but hey, you played your schedule, and Drake Maye, one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, you got to play the games ahead of you. So as much as we want to use it as a knock on the Patriots, that they don't control who the schedule is. They're not Notre Dame. They're not picking these easy teams. They're just out there taking them. So you got to win the games that you get anyway. I remember a couple of years ago, my Miami Dolphins were only beating the bad teams that they played and not beating the good teams, and then they were instantly out in the playoffs. So the Patriots at least have won their playoff games and moved on to the Super Bowl. So you got to give them credit for that too. And a lot of the credit goes to Drake Maye. Regardless of the bad playoff performances or anything, he put them in this position to get to the Super Bowl, to have that run to the Super Bowl. He's been stellar. He's been nothing short of stellar. And to do this in his sophomore season is so impressive. And he's got a great coaching staff around him now. I can't imagine what he would do with better weapons or better offensive line play. I mean, he's at 4,900 passing yards for the year, including the playoffs. Like that's really good. That number could go well over 5,000 if you had a couple better things around him. Like, he's dealt with awful offensive line play. He's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. His receiving core, as much as we've been giving them props in this episode, not the strongest receiving core in the league. Yeah. His running game is better than it was last year. Still not, a top unit. So if you look at his wide receiving core, his running back core, and his offensive line, I would say those are all bottom 15 units. And then you got a top 2 quarterback. So clean those things up. Drake Maye is going to just explode even further than we've seen him. We got to talk about current Drake Maye, though. He's the one that's in the Super Bowl. Can all of this come together in this big game? You hope so. You want to see him have that performance, and we want to see regular season Drake Maye as opposed to playoff Drake Maye so far. But is that going to come out? I would say yes. I think you're on this big stage. You got to see it come out. This is the last chance. He's going to have a good game. It's just regardless of how good.
Definitely. And during the season, I mean, he was so good with the deep ball. He was one of the best deep ball passers in the league. And then against pressure, one of the best quarterbacks when it comes to facing pressure. But I think when it comes down to it, the Seahawks defense hasn't seen a guy that can run with a football like in previous games. I think Matthew Stafford, he can't run with a football.
No.
It was only one time and everyone's going crazy because he's running with a football. But I think that's going to be a test for the Seahawks defense. And Drake Maye has it in him to say, you know what, we're going to play this football where 2-3 seconds, I don't like what I see. I'm off and running.
Yeah, he's going to be doing that. And for him, if he's going to be doing that, ball security is what's going to be really important. We saw the fumbles be a huge problem so far in the playoffs. He's got, 6 or
Maybe more.
I'm
he's
not
been
going to say the
fumbling
other
a lot.
number, but he's been fumbling the ball a lot, and so ball security, that has been a huge problem. That the Seahawks are not afraid of turning the ball over to take it away from you. So can we hold on to the ball and make sure we're not giving them any extra chances? When he's faced pressure in these playoffs, when he's taken sacks, the ball has popped out a lot. If he sees the pressure, he's either got to get out of the pocket or clamp onto that football, or do a classic little Tom Brady tuck. Just go down. So can you be safe with the football while still being aggressive? Yes, we've seen that with a lot of quarterbacks, and Drake Maye has done it as well. Push the ball down the field, get out of the pocket, be aggressive with the football, but don't be stupid with it. Like if you know the pressure's coming in, get the ball in. Don't let that ball come out. It's happened too much in the playoffs. They've gotten lucky to be able to get away with that. They really, the Texans game is where you identify a moment where those fumbles really should have cost them the game, and they, a couple turnovers from C.J. Stroud, they really luck out of that game. In this one, you're not going to get that lucky if you turn the ball over. So clamp down on it, vice grip, both hands, all right? Don't let that ball pop out. It'll be better.
Definitely, and with McDonald's, you're sure to see a lot of blitzes, and you're going to be seeing guys, 5, 6 guys coming after Drake Maye. All right, let's get to the final topic, and it's the Patriots as a whole. I mean, top to bottom, the stats are really good for the offense and the defense. We've been talking a lot on the offensive side of the ball, but let's get to the defense side of the ball. They've been really good, and okay, they haven't played good quarterbacks throughout the season. I mean, they're playing the Jets of the world. They're playing, your Dolphins too, which, two backup quarterbacks. So they had a good, easy schedule in terms of facing quarterbacks. They're facing a guy in Sam Darnold that has played a lot better, 3 touchdowns in that Rams game. So let's talk about the defense. What do you like about the defense for New England?
Yeah, very underrated unit. They really haven't made any splashes or made any headlines throughout the season, but they've just been solid. They've been rock solid, and that's really all you can ask for from your defense. They've been putting them in positions where Drake Maye can win the game. Easy. All right, that's all I can ask for out of my defense. And also, we've been ragging on the Patriots for having easygoing schedules or whatnot in the playoffs. They picked off C.J. Stroud 4 times. Like they're creating turnovers. That is the name of the game. If you create more turnovers than your opponent, most of the time you're going to win those football games. They came close. They were like 1 turnover more than themselves, but still. That's all that matters. Created the turnovers, a key interception against the Broncos to win the game. The fumbles for Justin Herbert in the Chargers game, fumbles and interceptions for C.J. Stroud in the Texans game. So a lot of good turnovers, and they've just been solid. They bend but not break. That's what I would say. They've just been good enough, and also at times they've been great. So good job from the Patriots defense all season long, and just not getting a lot of credit for it.
Oh, exactly. And, free agency, they just splurged. They got a lot of guys in free agency. Milton Williams has been a great sensation. I mean, he's going back-to-back Super Bowls. He was with the Eagles last year. And, Barrymore, in the front too. So they got a really nice defensive front. And then the cornerbacks, obviously, we got to talk about Kayshon Gonzalez. I mean, they were playing games without him, and they were doing fine. When they're with him, I mean, they're another team.
He is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Now, when targeted, I think he's only given up like 500 yards this season. The passer rating against him is around 70. He's given up 1 touchdown the entire season. He was an incredible draft pick for them. He's been very good. And he did struggle a little bit with injuries, but he's back now. He's looked good out there. He gave up a couple receptions early to Courtland Sutton in that Broncos game, but then outside of that, he had him locked down. So I expect him to be shadowing JSN. It's going to be very interesting to see how he performs up against JSN, because just about no one has performed well against him. So that's going to be your key matchup in this game, I think, is going to be Gonzalez versus Smith and Jigba. Milton Williams is someone to watch. That defensive front, can they get pressure against that rock-solid Seahawks offensive line? Are the linebackers going to make an impact? I think really what we're going to have to look at is that secondary play. The secondary is going to be the key for the Patriots defense. I think that's the key for the Seahawks as well. Drake Maye is going to be passing. You got to lock down Drake Maye. Sam Darnold is going to be passing as well. Can we lock that down?
Exactly. And, yeah, I think the linebackers, you got to look out for Spillane. He's injured right now. They'll see if he'll be in the Super Bowl. But top to bottom, I mean, Mike Vrabel's done a heck of a job. I mean, just the way he is a CEO for the team, he trusts Josh McDaniels. That defense, he really, oversees that too. So Mike Vrabel, I think his type of game in this Super Bowl is going to be, the clock is our friend. The clock is our friend. We can run the football. We trust Drake Maye to complete passes, but also run with the football too. So I think for Seattle, I mean, they got to like their chances, but in terms of New England, I think their friend is going to be the clock and just making this a low-scoring game.
Yeah, low-scoring game. Got to keep it low-scoring by being safe with the football, as we mentioned. So they got a real shot to win the Super Bowl, obviously. They're here for a reason. The line is short, 4.5 points. So no one's expecting this to be a blowout outside of me. me. But they have a real shot to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're there quite yet. I think this team still has a couple pieces to put together before they're a Super Bowl favorite in the future. We mentioned the wide receiver group, but the main thing is that offensive line play. I just don't think it's good enough to be of a Super Bowl winning team. I think that's really going to get exposed in this game.
Exactly, and I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think the over/under is like 46. I'm going to say under for that one. I have the Seahawks winning this game, but the Patriots, I think they're going to hold their own. I mean, they're going to, like I was saying, I think the clock is their friend, and I think both teams, they're the type, they have long drives. You know, they're going to be long drives, and that results in 9-minute drives. That results in 10-minute drives. So I think it's going to be very methodical with these two teams. You know, McDonald's a smart man. Vrabel's a really good coach. So I think both teams are really going to play their own game. And I think people are expecting fireworks. I would hold off on that in this game. I don't know if you would agree.
I do think there's a chance for fireworks in this game, and I think it's mostly going to be from the Seahawks' defensive side. I think they have a real opportunity to make some splashes by getting to Drake Maye, whether that's a big sack on him, forcing him to fumble, or creating some sort of other turnover. I think they could really lock things down on the defensive side. I think the Patriots are still going to score their points. I don't think they're going to have like 10 points. I think they're still going to score points, but I think it's going to be a double-digit win for the Seahawks.
Oh, I like it. I think that's pretty bold. I like it. All right, that's going to wrap things up here. Football X's and O's, a special edition. You can catch us every Monday. We also have Ain't There a Bowl every Thursday. Please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments who you think is going to win Super Bowl 60.